Good evening, everyone. So first and foremost, I want to welcome and thank all of you for attending this event. Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody had a great winter break. 2020 was definitely one for the books and not necessarily in the most positive way, but we have to stay optimistic that 2021 is going to get better. So just wanted to reintroduce myself. My name is Gus Nahara, the Director of College Success. Hopefully by now you all know who I am. I just want to quickly introduce my team, Olivia Della O, who's one of our College Success advisors. And most recently, we actually just added someone to our team, Mauro Perez, who's also would be another one of our College Success advisors. So I'm not sure if you all can see them, but guys, go ahead and wave. Uh, so like I mentioned, we really want to make sure that 2021 is a good year. And we've thought as much as possible methodically how to make sure that that happens. And we really wanted to kickstart the year with a webinar geared on how to stay motivated for the quarter, for the semester, really for the rest of the year. We've heard a lot of what you had to say, and we know that it's a little bit hard to stay motivated to keep yourselves accountable during this climate. So we want to do our best to help set you up for success. So, which is why I'm super excited to bring you this opportunity to connect with Dr. G. He's an author, a virtual keynote speaker, a professor, and an international consultant. You name it, he's done it. He helps people think differently about themselves and the world around them. So super excited for this. Hold on to your seats, get ready to be inspired. And without further ado, George, please roll the clip.
Okay, this is what you need. You can feel the energy. It's time to think differently. Come connect with Dr. G. Time for transformation. It's the future we're creating. Motivation, interdisciplinary thinking. Dr. G, let's go.
All right, Gus, thank you so much. So I'm here, Dr. G. Thank you for inviting me to join you in this session here. So today we'll be talking about how to stay motivated, right? And so the best way to do that is to actually give you some useful, practical, tactical things that you can apply instead of just giving you some high level information, right? And so what I'll be doing is I'm going to be telling you some stories, and not so long ago I was in your seat dealing with some of the same stuff, going through a program similar to yours. And so I think we can connect. What I want to do is spend some time talking about how to stay motivated. And let me just show you something real quick, which is this, right? Well, what you're seeing here on the screen is how to stay motivated, which is the title of our presentation. However, what you'll notice is that there's that little piece that says transformation through manifestation. And so when we're thinking about manifestation, we're really thinking about thoughts, right? Metacognition, things that we think about on a daily basis. And so as we go through this journey today, this is an experience. And so as you go through this experience, you're going to get some benefits, you're going to get some takeaways, things that you can actually apply and leverage as you go about your semester, your quarter, and the rest of 2021. And what I like to say, let's replace that one at the end with WON, one. So 2021, this is when you're going to win. So we're going to do that. Okay, let's jump right into it. So here's what this is all about. This is a mindset. Everything that you do and everything that we do, everything begins in the form of a thought. That's deep, and I want you to soak that in. It starts with a thought, and then we take action on that thought. And that thought can either be a positive thought or it could be a negative thought. And as we go about today's journey, I'm going to share some tips and how you can leverage and harness that positive thought to convert into the actions that you need to go crush your goals for this year, right? And so everybody wants to create these 2021 goals, make sure that they hit them. You're going to get some stuff that actually helps you get to that point. So, however, this does come with some level of caveat. And so let me jump into this. This is how we will be investing our time together. Some people like to say, how do we spend time? I don't say spend, I say invest. When I'm coming here, I'm not spending time. I'm investing time with you. And so I'm investing time in helping you learn some things that are going to help for your lifetime, for your career, everything you do. This is an investment, right? You're investing time with us to learn how to do these things. And I'm investing time in you so that you have these tools to be able to carry and do these things that you want to do moving forward. Okay. Now, there are some goals that I want to call out. Let's start with that. My goal here as your facilitator, I have a few things that I want to hit. Number one is I want to keep your brain entertained. Number two, I want to inspire your mind. And now call out that there's brain and mind, two different things. I'll talk about that in a bit. And lastly, bullet point 3, which is show you a pathway to keep you motivated and to show you how to achieve this level of success. Okay. So I hope that sounds good. Those are my goals for you. Now, you can't get away without having some goals yourself. So I can't see everybody because there's a lot of screens going on and some are off, but here's the goals that I have for you. One, very simple, just one very simple goal, which is I want you to walk away from here with at least one action that you can apply, at least one thing that you can do so that moving forward, you're able to remember what you learned here, apply it, and then get back on course, right? You want to be able to crush that goal that you set. You want to be able to move in that direction. And so that's how we'll be doing it together. Now, there's a piece on what I'm going to help you with, and then the piece on how you're going to do this. And there's an active element that goes with it. And so as we move through the session, you're going to be put into some breakout rooms. You're going to get some active learning. It's not just me talking at you, giving you a bunch of stuff. You'll listen to some ideas, and then you'll be placed in a room where you have some co-leads, and they're going to walk you through how do you apply this stuff. We'll come back to the room, do a quick debrief, and then connect on how do you move forward. And I'm going to have a surprise for you at the end. So we'll go through that, right? Now, let me start with this piece on, I want to talk about you and me. There's a lot of similarities that I think you and me have combined. And when I remember going through high school, and I remember going through early years of college and then graduate school, and each of them came with a set of demotivators, and each of them came with a set of challenges that I had. And I just want to run some ideas by you, and I want to see if these are actually things that you experience. So coming in high school and early days of college, these are things that I experienced. So personally, I was one of the first people in my family that wanted more in life. And I was also part of a low socioeconomic status. So I didn't come from a family with a lot of money or practically very little money, right? It's the very opposite. I was hanging around with the crew that were making bad decisions, and just social pressure was everywhere. Number 4, I was feeling clueless of what my future would look like. I was seeing all these other people out there in the community with friends, and I was comparing myself to them. I was seeing that they were doing these things and that they were applying to colleges, they were getting accepted here. They had ideas of the future, and that led to the piece number 5, which is I started to feel alone, and I also started to feel a little bit demotivated. And when that set in, I didn't have the pandemic around me, right? But I had other situations during that time that contributed to me feeling alone. And if you recall from earlier, I said there's 2 pieces. There's your brain, and then there's your mind. And then there's the pieces that we create through thought. And here's what I want to say, which is when we're thinking in here, we're having this self-talk, and we're listening to ourselves, and we're either helping ourselves go in a direction, or we question our decisions that we're making. If we're doing social comparisons, we're seeing other people do better than us, or if we're on Instagram or Facebook or any other social platform, we see what others are doing. So we start to feel a little bit more isolated, and it's hard to get unstuck. So when I was in that situation, and remember, I had these elements here, and I'm not sure if you can relate, but maybe at least 1 or 2 of these, I'm sure you can relate, if not to that last one, which is feeling alone and a little bit of demotivated, right? And so those are elements that I felt, but I knew that that wasn't the only, like, there had to be more. So I started creating a pathway in my mind of, okay, I know that I want more, and I know that there has to be these things that I can reach and these goals that I can achieve. And I know I can prove to myself that this is not the end state, right? So what I started doing is I crafted this piece of what I call the so what, and let me flip to this screen so you can see me, it at the same time. So when I was feeling stuck and I was feeling demotivated, and this still happens today, right? In certain situations, I can feel demotivated, and here's what I do. So I know that I had this goal way back in the day. One of those goals was this here, to get a PhD was one of those goals. So apply to colleges, get accepted, do these things. So that was my what. And then I started looking at this component of why, and I was thinking, okay, why do I want this goal? Why do I want to go further in life? Why do I want to promote more and be better and do more? And what I realized is that this why is because I wanted to show people in my family that if I could do it, they could do it. And I also knew that later in life, I wanted to contribute back to the community that helped me get to where I was. And so this is a reason why I'm here today, right? A big piece of why. And so when we're thinking of your goals and you're thinking of what's getting you stuck, I'm going to give you a formula and I'm going to show you what the formula looks like, right? And so in this visual that you see here, you'll see there's the what component at the top, and then there's like these elements of what did I want to do and why did I want to do these things. But the more important thing was this piece right here. The question is, how will I get this done? And so this is the actual transformation model. So this is a visual of a model that I basically came up with. Don't worry, it looks like a lot of complicated math. I'm actually going to describe it in a way that it's just 3 easy steps that you can use so that you can start applying this stuff today, right? And so let's jump into the actual breakdown of these components. So today, let's say that you're feeling demotivated, you're feeling stuck, or you know you have this New Year's goal that you put in place, but you're not really sure how you can execute against this. This is a formula of what I want you to use. So let's start with the W on the far left-hand side of your screen. You'll see that first you need to start with what is it that you want to do? So whatever your goal is today, you need to be clear. What is that goal? Okay. The second component is why do you want this goal? This why, super important because it'll drive your motivation and it's what you will use to make it as your anchor. And so today you can have a goal that says, I want to apply to X number of colleges in this time frame, or I want to take on extracurricular activities in this space. That's simply a what. What you need to be clear on is why do you want to do those things? And the more you can attach an emotional meaning to that why, it can't just be that I want to do these things just to check it off the list, because that's when you start to go on a slippery slope and you won't do it because it'll just become a task or a chore. You need to attach it to an emotional investment. So if you remember my example, I said, I want to go get a PhD. And why do I want to do that? I wanted to do that because I wanted to show my family that it's attainable, that they could do it as well. And so now I have nephews and nieces that are going to graduate school. They're following the path. When I was going through school my own, my parents, they didn't go to college, right? They just barely finished first level of elementary school. And so I didn't have anyone to go to. I didn't have a connection. So I needed to find that why within myself. And so that's the component that gets you to go forward is that why. Let me show you that third piece, which is once you are clear on what that what is and you know why you want it, we start moving into this thing called the support system, or what we have as S square. And so you'll see at the bottom right-hand side is there's a P, there's an M, there's an E, and there's a circle that goes around it. Here's what that means. The P represents your physical environment. If you are in a place where there's things that you can control and there's things that you cannot control, okay? I'm focusing on the things that you can control. if in your environment, you're doing everything all at the same time, meaning your work, your school, your play is all in the same space, that'll cloud your judgment, and it's going to cloud the efficacy and the efficiency that you can attain by separating the work. Now, I understand it's not as easy to do in some situations where all you have is just a desk, right? Now, in that situation, I want you to focus on this second component, which is the M. The M is the mental representation of your environment. So all around me, we're getting all these physical stimuli. We have a physical environment that supports or hinders our way of doing something. Now, if we can't control that, the other component we can control is our mental state, which is I can control the thoughts that I say to myself and the things that I pay attention to. If I pay attention to negativity, guess what? My brain will respond to that and it will give me negativity. If in the morning I wake up and the first thing I do is I look at Instagram or I look at the news and see that all these bad things are happening around the world, I'm flooding myself with negative energy that will drive my actions towards the rest of the day. And that's all you need for it to continue on the path of staying motivated or staying demotivated. And so the same energy that you use to invest on the demotivation, all you have to do is rechannel that just a little bit to get you on the path of that motivation piece. So now let's talk about this third component, which is the E. The E is the emotional state. So when we put everything together, the R at the bottom represents your reinforcers. And reinforcers are the people around you. So these could be your friends, these could be your colleagues, these could be your peers, these could be your mentors, parents, family members, people on social media that you follow that you don't know. That bubble, okay, that bubble will influence your actions and your behaviors and your feelings and your thoughts. And if you catch yourself and you look at the people around you, listen to the things that they say. If they're constantly complaining, that's going to take a toll on you, and you're going to start to feel that deflated sense. You're going to start to feel like you're carrying a lot on your shoulders, like it's impossible to do anything. If you inverse that, you flip it, and now you start surrounding yourself with people that you enjoy listening to, that actually inspire and motivate you, then that begins to stay within yourself and it stays in your mind. Let me show you this visual representation here. Now, your brain and your mind take action from only two places. Those two places, as you can see, are self-talk and what others say. And so the three-step process that I was showing you, the what, the why, and the support system, that would help control your level of motivation and the goals that you set and the goals that you crush, only if you pay attention to this first one, which is the self-talk. Now, there's some research out there. There's a saying that the brain processes somewhere between 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day on average per person. So think, why would you allow yourself to stay in here in the place that's negative? You live here and you take your stimuli from the people around you. And you can control what happens in here, right? You can't control the negative things that people say or the positive things that people say around you, but you can make a decision whether you let it live and you let it stay with you. That's what the transformation model helps you to do, is set the pace. Here's where I want to spend my time. Here's where I want to live. Here's my mental set. Here's what I need to do. And here's how I can crush my goal. Now, there's this other piece of research that says this component, which I'm going to show here, which says the human brain can only focus on one thing at a time, one thought at a time only. So what that simply means is, if you're going to focus on something, why let it be a negative thing? And so the saying that I have down here at the bottom is, you can't have a positive life and a negative mind, right? And so this should help kind of connect the dots on, okay, so if I want to do these things and I want to drive forward, now I have a game plan, which is, what is my goal? Why do I want to do this? And what is going to be my support system that can help me drive this forward? And then each day, it's the same thing. It doesn't change. It's the same pathway. And so what happens over time is this becomes a habit. This becomes a tiny incremental habit that builds over time. And so people don't just show up and randomly every day are negative. They were conditioned to be that way, just like you can be conditioned to be a positive mindset or have a positive influence on others. And hopefully you're connected to other students or peers or mentors. This could be an accountability piece where now you're leveraging the transformation model and those elements to help you move forward, right? And so I know I'm coming up on time, and what I want to do next is actually tell you what you're going to be doing with the team, which is, let's break into this active play component here, which is we're going to break you up into some breakout sessions, and you're going to have a lead with you. And so the lead is going to be 4 people, and I'll have them spotlight here for you in a second. But here's what's going to happen in the breakout room. You're going to have a discussion. So you'll have a team lead that walks you through a conversation using the transformation model and some active activities. And then you're going to come out of that. Remember, my goal was to keep your brain entertained and give you something to have as a pathway. So this is where the action comes. The second piece is you need to actively participate in these small rooms. So come up with a goal that you might have. You can say, my goal is X, my goal is Y. And then in that session, it'll be a smaller group. The leads can help you walk through the component of how do you actually make this happen, okay? So let's shift into, nope, George, let's just shift into the breakout. So everyone, you're gonna be in a breakout. You'll have a lead, a co-lead, and then you'll have an activity in there. So George, we can go ahead and put them in the breakout for the time. That way we have enough to be able to do the debrief. So, all right, let's take it into the breakouts, George. All right, we're back now. So you were teleported, now you're teleported back. You got some experience there. So you got to be in some breakout rooms. As I mentioned earlier, I have something, a giveaway for you. I have something that can actually help you drive this forward. So while I'm talking here, George, go ahead and drop that into the chat box for everybody. So what you'll see in the chat box is actually a toolkit that we put together that can help you keep this momentum going. And the idea is we're making it very simple, right? So earlier I presented a very complicated looking graph and some math looking stuff. Took all that, made into a simple format that you could all use, okay? So now what I want to do is bring it all together, and actually I'm gonna call on Hannah. So I'm gonna go with Hannah. Hannah, what happened in your session? I'm gonna put you on Spotlight. So let's go on Spotlight. What happened? 2 minutes.
Okay, so we had just to manifest a mind map and think about their goals. So the what, the why, and the support systems. We didn't have that much time, but a couple of people did manage to share. A couple of the whats, so whatever their goals are. We had mainly career goals. We had people wanting to buy a house. We had some nursing, teaching, graphic design. So a lot of career goals to begin with. And then I asked them, why is this important to you? And we had some of the responses were inspiring people, being able to support themselves financially, following their passion, and being able to give back to the community. So kind of similar to the ones that you were speaking about, Dr. G, in the initial one. And then the support systems, we had a variety of different support systems. So everyone considered, the emotional, the mental, and the physical aspects. So there were some responses like the resources available as a physical aspect. So courses and programs and things like textbooks to help you get through and reach that goal. And then being around like-minded people was one of them too. So people who are in the same, I guess, in the same career or have the same goals. So you can kind of support each other in that way. And then, of course, the biggest one I think was family members and friends. Definitely a very important aspect of the emotional part of the support system. So that was our main answers.
All right, Hannah, thank you so much. We're actually going to go over to Bella, and I'm grabbing some notes on my side, right? So I'm taking some notes of what I see and what I hear, and we're going to bring it all into a loop. So Hannah, thank you so much there. Bella, let's go over to you.
Yeah, so in our breakout room, we had Laura, Eileen, and Gus share what their goals are and why the goals are important for them, and then how they're going to achieve these goals. So we talked about how, to stay in the positive mindset is really important. So a goal that we identified is to stop using cell phones so much, especially right after you wake up and getting on social media and looking at these negative or traumatic things, and that sets your mood for the day. So that is one thing we talked about. And then another thing we talked about is how we want to stop procrastinating. We want to actually improve our work efficiency and hit the deadlines before. And then these goals are important because obviously we all have a lot of responsibilities in life, and then to improve your efficiency and always being in a positive mindset is definitely going to help in any aspect of life. And then we identified a really common support system, which is our family members and friends. So because these people are so close to us, and it's considered like a more of an accessible resource for us to hold us accountable in our journey of achieving goals. And then Gus also mentioned that his teams, his colleagues and peers are also really important in terms of helping him achieve the goal that he wanted, which is for this program to be very successful so we can help more students. Yeah, so that's what we talked about.
Perfect. And on the clock, 2 minutes. That's exact. Wow, Bella, fantastic. Bravo. So I'll grab some notes here. Thank you so much. We're going to go over to Mishi. So Mishi, tell us what happened in your session.
So everyone went ahead and grabbed their own little whiteboard so that they could write what their goals were, just in case anyone was shy and didn't want to do it. And then we focused on 2 goals. We had Jonathan, who told us that he wanted to write weekly journals every week, and so that he could reflect. And so his why was so that he could reflect. And we spent a lot of time on those support systems because that's really an integral part of what we're doing. And going through everything we went through, what's kind of a physical thing, it seems like a little bit more of a difficult, and we decided upon, setting a specific time every day that this is the time I'm going to write every week about what's happening, as well as either designating a place that this is where I work, or deciding I'm going to write it somewhere different each time. And was completely up to Jonathan, all to himself. We moved on to a little bit of mental and what would be mental for that specific goal, talking about, well, maybe we should have something that's one thing that happened that was really good this week and one thing that we need to work on, and being able to accept that entirety of the reflection, whether it's good or bad, and being able to accept that we do need to continue with the process, and understanding that there is balance within the world. And then emotional, and same as Hannah and Bella, having that friends, the family, and also the fulfillment fund here. Everyone here is a support system for you guys to get through your goals. Then we moved on a little bit to something a little bit more academic, where we talked about studying for the GRE. And why was this important? Well, we want to go to graduate school. We want to go, you need that for graduate school, and you need to go to continue your career, and so on and so forth. And we kind of compared, we're like, are the support systems the same? Are they different? We only added, we didn't take anything away. We only added, professors, mentors, student groups, things of academics that could be like career centers and things like that. So we really kind of worked through what each and every individual could bring to the table within those support groups.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I grabbed some notes. Jonathan, look at this. Every day I have a journal, and every day I write something, right? So you can see, let's see, what's today? 1/11. So I have 113, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna have another one. Every single day, write something. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be this crazy task. That's not more than 2 or 3 sentences. Very simple, very, very key. So I hear you. Keep doing it. You inspire me to do this again. So I'll be thinking about you when I do this tomorrow. So Jenny, let's wrap up with you. Thank you, Nishi over there.
Yeah, so we had a collaborative whiteboard where we were trying to really get people going and typing in their goals. It was a little difficult to use, not gonna lie, but a lot of people actually put in a lot of different goals, such as reading books, getting their license, buying a car, buying a house, passing their classes, even losing weight. So in the end, we actually have more of a conversational base where we're like, okay, so why are you trying to attain these? Some actually mention it's really for themselves. They want to, those goals that they selected is really, so it's to better themselves, to make them feel good. And from there, they're like, okay, so how are we going to get that support system? We had a bunch of mentioning like family and friends. And we also, in the end, I threw myself in there. I'm now part of them, and I gave them my contacts. I'm gonna be their support system for them, and be able to like help them through. If they have anything, feel free to contact me. If you need someone to find some connections, I'm there for you. And I told them, like, not only is those around you in the breakout room someone that you can go to, but you can always reach out to those out of the breakout room to help you out. So that was really similar to all the other breakout rooms and what they've mentioned for the support system. I think really those each other is what we really kind of came as a closing remark for.
That's a powerful remark, Jenny. And let me share what I got. And I grabbed some notes here from everyone. Career, passion, community, give back, some tips on how to stay away. So no cell phone, stop procrastinating, the journal, supporting each other, family, friends, all key things. And it's a very simple formula, right? So what is it that we want to do? And let me remind you that in order for you to help anyone else, in order for you to be an inspiration, in order for you to be that person, that rock that others need, maybe your family, your friends, you have to be good inside. You have to be good first, right? So you have to take care of yourself. It's like that. For those of you who've traveled pre-COVID, they always say, before helping others, put your oxygen mask on first. And so this is the same thing. If you want to be great, if you want to be helpful, if you want to inspire, if you want to succeed, if you want to go towards your passion, go for it, right? But your mindset needs to be in that place that, look, you are your best self-coach. You talk to yourself all day long about many different things. Let those thoughts be things that drive you towards what you want to accomplish so that you can be that inspiration. You can be that passion that people talk about, right? And so that's how we bring it together. The formula here that we give you, that transformation model, is very basic and something that can be applied to anything. And in fact, here's my challenge. And what I know from Gus is he shared that all of you are later on in, I think, March, somewhere around that time frame, going to be looking at LinkedIn and the value of having LinkedIn. So if you don't have that, I challenge you to have it. And here's what I'll say. So right now, I want you to make me part of your roundtable. I am now inviting you to be a connection with me. And so what you see on the screen here is a QR code. If you have your cell phone nearby, put your camera on it. Automatically, you're going to be connected. You're going to see my LinkedIn profile come. If you have a profile, go ahead and connect with me. If you don't have one, this gives you an inspiration to maybe connect one, right? Maybe start something up. And the piece is this. This is the last component before I pass it over to Gus, which is you're not alone. And we are here with you, for you, we've seen some things, we're connected in different ways. And what I want to extend to you is I want to now be part of your table. And so as you're going through this, and as you're, maybe there's a day that you feel stuck or demotivated, you have my info. Now you can connect with me and say, hey, Dr. G, I'm feeling this way. I'm having these thoughts. What do you think? Am I off? Is this crazy? I'm now part of your support system. I'm now part of your network. And I truly hope that you take advantage of that. And it's not me just saying it. It's me saying it from a place of, when I was at that point in my career, I wanted someone to have that connection. And so now that I can give it, I want to make sure that I extend it. And so, heck, maybe Jonathan, if you want something to write about, you need some inspiration, connect with me, let me know, throw some ideas your way. And so with that, I want to thank everyone for joining today's session. And I want to thank you for being an active participant, for those of you that were in breakouts and led through that. Check your chat box. I see someone made a comment. If you don't want to write on a journal, you can have one online. We also put the manifestation toolkit for you to have. Take that. My information is there. You can find me in a bunch of different places, IG, LinkedIn, YouTube, all this place. You can find me. It's just a matter of what can I help you with in this journey? Remember, you're not alone. And I'm going to end with a quote that I always say, which is, if you want to be different, you have to think differently. Okay. So with that, thank you so much, Gus. I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you. And I'm closing here.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. G. That was super inspiring. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Michi. Thank you, Hannah, for help co-leading some of these breakout rooms as well. It was really great. Really appreciate it. Students, really hope that you all took a lot away from this, that it's actionable items that you come out with, that you practice what you heard here. Items, in order to track your attendance, just FYI, please complete, I put it on the chat, just a quick Google form, just so we know that you were here. That'd really help us out to track this attendance. Besides that, like Dr. G mentioned, he did provide the transformation through manifestation workbook. So make sure you download that. Make sure to use that as well. And like I said, take your action item and put it into practice, your support system, your why, your how. But without further ado, I think that's really it. I just put the survey link on the group chat, so make sure you go ahead and complete that before the end of the day today. That'd be great. Other than that, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Hopefully, this is a great way to kickstart your 2021 in a positive way. But thank you all so much. Really appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your day.